The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. That's right. Sports Concepts and Rationalizations coming your way. We call it the 10-minute drill. Beef, I believe we have some piece of revenue to hand out. Yeah.
A little swag for Lucky Guggen at the end of the 10-minute drill. Stay tuned. One Lucky Guggen going to take home and dine, feast like kings with $25 to Culhane's Irish Pub.
Oh, very nice. Dined there before. It's wonderful. Oh, food's very good there. So, listen, I watched last night on ESPN. I don't know if you saw it. They had FSU Miami slugfest from back.
I wasn't watching it, but I was on Twitter, and I was enjoying just kind of commentary and analysis from several people like our friend Big Game James.
Yes, 2002 game, Knowles, Canes, and, FSU. It was, I think I read 17 first-round picks on that. That field.
Great players.
And by the way, that wasn't near as, those rivalries were so good for about 20 years. I mean, there really was so much talent down there, not just from Miami, but, Sean Taylor was in that game, so that.
Did you see the quote from Jonathan Vilma on that one?
Yeah, about the
Greg
beast.
Jones.
Yeah.
He said, quote, he put the fear of God in half our defense.
That's why I brought it up. Listen, Chris Ricks was not very good that day, threw for 83 yards on 8 of 19 passing.
I'll see you, Chris Ricks.
Yeah, well, as opposed to Ken Dorsey, who threw for 362 yards.
When is he eligible for induction into the Hall of Fame?
Who, Ken?
Yeah.
You have to ask Joe Yu. But the Beast, Greg Jones, had a career day. And by the way, it was scalding hot down there. And Greg Jones was a bad A, okay? And he's still in town. He's in Jacksonville. He's a great guy.
Who was the North Carolina safety that he murdered on the field?
He murdered a guy, flat out annihilated him, left tire tracks on his face. I don't know who it was. I know it was North Carolina. And it's a great highlight if you ever want. Just you can Google Jones, North Carolina, and it won't be.
You'll see it.
It won't be Marion Jones.
It's vicious.
It's the Beast, who was one hell of a blocking fullback for Mojo here with the Jags.
Dexter Reed.
The
late Dexter Reed.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Yeah.
Not really.
But anyway, so Greg Jones had 189 yards in that boiling heat that day. And he ran one in from 11 yards out with 10 minutes to go, I think, about in the fourth quarter. FSU was up 27-14. They had him. 27-14, bro. Game over. And Miami, I think it was Andre Johnson, took a little dump-off pass and went about 50, got it down into FSU territory, and then they scored like in 3 plays and made it 27-21. Then they scored again with about, 4 or 5 minutes to go. FSU would have an opportunity to win it at game's end and miss a field goal. It was one of those wide left games, wide right, wide left games. And Willis McGahee was on that field. Kellen Winslow was on that field. Andre Johnson was on that field. They had Anquan Bolden was on that field. Greg Jones was on that field. I mean, there was so much talent out there. Leon Washington was a freshman. I mean, good stuff.
Great teams.
Yeah.
Great teams. Just relive the Greg Jones hit on Dexter Reed.
How did that look?
Just absolutely vicious.
Yeah. But anyway, that was on last night. So if you
dropped that right shoulder and Dexter Reed flew to the moon.
Yes. Lincoln Riley is the head coach at Oklahoma. And listen, we love our football and we want our football. And the governor says, come on down here, professional sports. And Gainesville's Scott Strickland, the athletics director at University of Florida, says, we're open for business, man. We'll do, he's smart. He gets it. L.A. is, California is sort of behind, I guess, in the flattening of the curve, maybe, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't exactly know how to say it, but there's some talk that Los Angeles and California teams, San Francisco, the Rams, the Chargers, may have to play games elsewhere. Anyway, so we're excited to have football down here. But Lincoln Riley is the coach at Oklahoma. In fact, SEC presidents are going to vote next week, I think next Friday, about whether to bring players back June 1st or June 15th. Okay? So those are all good signs, and that's okay. Lincoln Riley says, though, hang on, guys. Whoa. Slow it down. Let's put the brakes on. He had a conference call yesterday. He says, look, I think there's going to be college football. I think there's going to be a season. But he made an argument saying, let's just, pump the brakes a little bit here. In fact, he said the idea of a June 1st return to campus is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. He said, quote, every day early that we bring them in is a day we could have gotten better. It's a day we could have learned more about the virus. It's a day closer to a vaccine. It's a day that our testing equipment, our testing capabilities get better. And it's just not worth it. So we've got to be patient. We got one shot at this. We got to do it right. Well, that's fair. I mean, like I said, I get where he's coming from. I also understand that, we want the kids to be back and we want football. So, again, statistics, take a look at them. Everybody judge for themselves. Play it how you want to play it. Readily available and efficient diagnostic testing will be needed for any sport to return. I think most schools will have. In fact, the SEC also put together a task force with a representative from each school from the medical field to help determine how to go about running this football season. So, they're talking every day. They're thinking about it every day. They're working on things every single day in hopes of having football this fall. When, how, where in some reports remains to be seen. It's the one thing we've talked about throughout this coronavirus pandemic that we've all lived, and that's the balance between, a virus that can take people's lives, statistically attacks older people or people with predisposition health issues much more than it does other people, but nonetheless, it is a virus, and the balance of, the economy, getting back to work and doing things. So part of the economy, obviously, is football. Now, the NFL is big business. College football is big business, but with student athletes. So there's that you're going to have to deal with as well. Understand, if there's no football, there'll be no college sports, though, because college football pays the freight. Riley went on to say, I think everybody's got to have a very open mind about this. We're not the NFL. There are some huge, huge differences in us being able to put on a successful season versus a professional league. We're not the NBA. We don't have 15 players. This is a totally different deal. So I don't see any need to rip Lincoln Riley. I think he makes some good and valid points, and hopefully that works out. I heard a story yesterday about a decade-old sports story that I didn't know about. Did you hear about this James Harrison deal?
No, that stunned me.
Did you know about it?
I did not know about it.
Okay, so James Harrison.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's a common practice.
Yeah.
But it surprised me.
James Harrison, the big, gigantic, bad A linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who still pushes around like 7,000 pounds of weight.
What did he push around on his birthday?
Yeah.
Was it like his 43rd birthday?
Yeah,
he
had
put around
plates
43
and plates and plates of weights.
And it's just like a gazillion pounds,
Yeah.
and he's just sledding it around.
Yeah. He's the one, like one time there was a viral video of him tossing his kid about 60 feet high into his pool.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes. He's a strong man.
He's strong. Anyway, he recently implied he received a payment from Mike Tomlin, the Pittsburgh coach, after the NFL fined Harrison $75,000 for a brutal helmet-to-helmet hit on former Cleveland Browns wide receiver Mohamed Massaquoi back in 2010. Quote, dude, I'm telling you, $75,000, and I ain't going to lie to you. What that happened, right? And then the G-est, most gangsta thing Mike Tomlin ever did, he handed me an envelope after that. I ain't going to say what, but he handed me an envelope after that. Harrison retired in 2018 after playing 15 seasons. That would be an eyebrow-raising comment at the very least, right? And that was on a podcast hosted by Willie Colon, who used to play for Pittsburgh on the offensive line.
Did you see the follow-up about the hit?
No.
He said, listen, on everything I love, on my daddy's grave, I hit that man with about 50% of what I had. And I just hit him because I wanted to let him loose of the ball. If I had known they was going to fine me $75,000, I would have tried to kill him.
boy. It's a violent game, man.
I thought about this the other night when Joe Buck came out and said that
violent game.
they were going to pump in crowd noise. And I said to my wife, I said, you know why they want to pump in crowd noise? Because they don't want people to hear just how absolutely savage this game really is.
Savage.
Between like the hits, the collisions, and also the language and exchanges. I don't think they want Joe Q public hearing all of this.
Yeah, well, the Steelers
Clears a bell on Fox.
The Steelers had to respond. Obviously, asked if there's any kind of response. Art Rooney, the president and owner. I am very certain nothing like this ever happened. I have no idea why James would make a comment like this, but there is simply no basis for believing anything like this. So whether or not it happened, what was in the envelope? Well, we know it happened. We know the hit happened.
We know the hit happened. We know the fine happened.
We don't know if the envelope was given to James Harrison from Mike Tomlin or not. Obviously, that would be a bad look. Is that fair to say, Beef? A bad look, if you will, on the
it's not great optics
on the deal. One other thing before we head off to break, our Joe poll question. If you want to vote at Dan Hicken, we've had a lot of play on it. It's presented by the Edge Group, by the way. If you need to sell your property fast, residential, commercial, you can call the Edge Group, 904-474-5851. At Dan Hicken, over 1,000 votes. Who would you put next into the pride of the Jaguars? And 34.7 say Mojo. 28.9 say Keenan, who is not in yet and is a wide receivers coach for the Jaguars right now. 26% say Tom Coughlin. Rasheed Mathis, 10.4%. Tom Coughlin would be the overwhelming winner if the season hadn't gone off the tracks, I would say, and he had been relieved of his duties. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think there probably need to be a little simmer time there.
Yeah. So, but it'd be good to get him in there. All right, let's do this. Load up the phone lines. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back. We're going to do trivia. Our friends at Roof It Right have been so good. They're giving away a gift card.
Yeah.
But right now,
though,
we are going to do caller number two. And what are we giving away, Beef?
They're going to take home, caller number 2 at 641-1010, going to take home a $25 gift certificate.
Yes.
From Culhane's Irish Pub.
We're giving away today, baby. It's a Friday giveaway day right here on The Drill.